YouTube, and welcome back to another Airsoft video. I have been a member of the Airsofting community for a good year and a half now. Over the course of my experience, I have come across a few tips, tricks, and tactics for the average new player when preparing to become a Milsim player. Part of the Milsim experience is having the gear. Gear, however, is very expensive. That being said, most new players don't have the money to buy multiple loadouts for all of their equipment. So my first tip to all of you new players is to buy a universal loadout. This is my universal loadout. The idea behind a universal loadout is that you can take it and wear it with any color of a camo pattern that you choose. Notice that most, if not all, of my gear is colored tan. Tan goes very well with the multicam that I'm wearing, but all of the gear that you saw in that video is the same exact gear I'm wearing right now. Multicam and woodland are typically placed on opposite sides during Milsim events. With the universal loadout, I won't have to swap over all my gear to match, nor will I need to purchase a whole entire new set of gear to match either. Tan is a good color choice, but it is not the only color choice. I also recommend olive drap green as another color choice option for your gear. Both colors are great for a universal loadout color pattern. I do not recommend using black. Black is a color that typically does not blend well in an outdoor environment. As long as you stick to the neutral earth colors, you should be fine. Another challenge is finding a reliable weapon. I have come to rely upon my APS UAR. This weapon can be a little tricky to get up and running, but once it is a beast in the field. It has the barrel length of an AK-47, but its size is relative to a stubby M4. This rifle performs well outdoors and indoors. Along with a primary, it's also nice to have a secondary. I myself am still actually trying to choose a secondary, but your secondary must be reliable. But right now, my runner-ups are the APS ACP and the KJ Works P226. When it comes to the sidearm, you're not looking for much. During the last op, I only actually used my pistol once. I drew it because I knew my rifle was low on ammo, but it was not a safe time to reload my weapon. This is why I recommend bringing a sidearm to a Milsim event. Another thing to note about Milsim events is that they do not allow high caps. Rather than fooling around with high caps in the Airsoft career, I recommend buying mid caps as soon as you can. Not only do they decrease the ambient noise you make when you move, they're also more reliable than high caps are. Not to mention, there's no need to wind a silly wheel at the bottom every 20 or 30 shots. Probably one of the most essential pieces of equipment you will need is a good pair of boots. Most ops are held outdoors in very rough terrain. The last thing that you want to do is roll your ankle because you slipped with 40 pounds of gear. Ankle support is a must to have in your boots. Boots, like eye protection, is something that you do not want to cheap out on. These Magnum Spider 8.0s run you about $100. I feel it's money well spent. They are comfortable and they get the job done. There are, however, cheaper alternatives. These are an old pair of deployment boots. They obviously are very well worn. They had already been in service for a good decade before I got my hands on them. The ankle support on these isn't as great as the Magnums, but any form of ankle support is better than none. A good pair of boots and a good pair of socks will prevent blisters and keep you on your feet all day. With the mention of socks, make sure you bring extra socks just in case your feet get wet, because trench foot is a very serious condition. Some of the last few remaining items that you might need for a Milsim are a radio so you can receive orders, a watch so you can keep track of the time, maybe a compass for navigating on maps, water and a bag to carry any extra gear, extra batteries, and maybe an extra gun in case something happens to your primary. I hope that you found these tips helpful. Milsims can be a lot of fun, but you need to prepare for them. From day one, it took me a year to finally get myself into a Milsim event. Anyways, I hope you really liked this video. If you did, please leave a like at the bottom. If you have any questions about the video, please leave those in the comments section down below. If you would like to see more content from me, please hit that subscribe button. Anyways, thank you for watching. My name is Andon, and tan is best color.